Hello and welcome to another Kamen Rider S.H.Figuarts review. This is Kamen Rider Shin Nigo, or his newer form, as well as the Cyclone. This is the, also, it just says Cyclone here, but this is like the newer-ish one, I think. Anyway, S.H.Figuarts is not anymore, but this still is not anymore the new standard figure series that incorporates about S.H.Figuarts out on the theme pursuing character expression through humanoid action. Anyway, very standard Ichigo Nigo style box, a white box with red print on it, as well as the black and white silhouette of the figure itself. It's just been like all the other ones, and the size of the box is pretty much the same as the other pack of Ichigo with his bike. However, the inside of the box is very different. If you just pull this out, you see this is actually an entire single tray, whereas if you remember the Ichigo set with the bike, it actually came, in two separate pieces. Big silver card on the back, and of course on the back you do get a instruction sheet as well as a survey card, which I'm not bothering anymore because I never win anything on them and never get any free stuff from Bandai. I put more of the survey cards that I send back to them. But anyway, here's the instruction sheet. If you do want to take a closer look at the box art, the instruction sheet, as well as a photo shoot of the figure and bike in this case, you can head over to the Facebook or Flickr link in the video description below. Normally I upload the photos a bit after the video comes on, in case you're wondering. And there's a quick look at the top of the box. Oh, and of course only the Hong Kong ones come with a little survey Q&A card in the box. Japanese ones do not, is it? As well as the Hong Kong version also has a sticker on the box, and usually the Hong Kong version is cheaper because the shopkeeper didn't have to pay the shipping and stuff. So you're getting a cheaper thing. Just it'll cost you more if you want a box that's cleaner without the sticker on it. Now there is Nigo and the bike, which is pretty cool. Now previously, the Ichigo figure that came with a bike in a double pack was the Ichigo figure that was hardest to get. There is the only difference with this one is his metallic coloring on the helmet is just a tiny bit different from the original. But prior to that release, the price has spiked up on that Ichigo because that's the most recognizable version of him. It's the version you see most often in the modern movies, and it's just really hard to get get him for a decent price. And of course, the bike came out, it was great. We were able to finally get him for pretty cheap. The bike was also sold separate with a bit of blue painted next to the light to, distinguish it from the slightly altered version, which is literally just a bit of blue paint, that the one that Nigo rode. So I got both of them, so both of them have their bikes. And here is great again, because this version of Nigo is also based on the version that was hardest to get. It was a Tamashii Web exclusive originally. It was really hard to get. It was like 600 for just a figure. Here, this was 420, but I've seen a shop now, this like a week later, selling this pack for 350 Hong Kong dollars, and so that's like half the price of the spiked up prices, and you also get a bike with it. Half the price with an extra bike, and that's great. I did see online, and there are slight alterations again to the paint, and I actually think this one looks better. Of course, hardcore collectors are going to want both versions because they're slightly different and there's a different box and stuff. But if you only had to get one, say if they were the same price and you only could get one, this one does look better in terms of paint. I have noticed a difference between him and all the other figures, though, is underneath his belt doesn't seem to have any sleeve. A bit of a shirt sticking out. Whoops. So it's a bit different from the other ones. So in this big package, you got the figure, you got the two, one scarf blowing in the air, one's a relaxed scarf, just like all the other figures based on Ichigo and Nigo and the Shocker Riders. You have flat hands, item holding hands, or in this case bike holding hands. Slightly different flat hands for engineering poses, and sort of spray open relaxed hands. You have two display stands for the bike. One just plugs into the tire, and one actually plugs into the bottom of the bike and has a peg hole for a Tamashii stage, and of course you have the bike itself. So articulation here, if you have any of the previous Ichigo series related figures, you pretty much know what to expect here, since most of the body is the same. Neck goes up, double neck joint there, down, sideways, the scarf, and the shape of the helmet, the jawline pretty much does affect the articulation a little bit. Rotating in the arm socket there, goes up and down, full rotation, slightly sideways, not too much. Double elbow joint, This is on a little ball peg on a little swiveling joint. Torso goes up, 2 joints there and down. Like I said, this belt is actually on its own. It's not attached to anything, which is pretty cool. It means I can attach it on other figures. Hey, maybe I'll even put the decayed belt on there. Ooh. The leg goes down, up, sideways, forwards, back, double knee joint. Foot goes up, down, toe goes up, toe goes down. A little bit down. And that's the bottom of the boot. I do have to note that his sort of a scarf line down his neck, the plastic seems a bit like lighter color than the other ones, and just feels a bit cheaper, like it's a slightly cheaper piece of plastic, and so I'm not too happy with it. The other ones feel a bit more solid and durable. This neck piece, maybe because it's a reissue or something, it doesn't feel as good. It feels a bit tacky, almost like sort of like plastic packaging. You might colored plastic packaging you get in like Christmas boxing and stuff. Those little Christmas plastic toys from the crackers. Yeah, don't like that plastic too much. Feels weird to me. As for the bike itself, I haven't watched all of the Ichigo series yet. I've maybe watched about 20 something episodes because it's really hard to sit through because it's so old. I mean, the stories are still overall enjoyable and the technical stuff is still, you know, it's impressive for its time, but it hasn't really aged that well. So as much as a fan as I am, I'm still finding it hard to sit through it. So for the most part, I knew there were 2 bikes because you know, in the movies they'll use the other newer bike, and in the more modern movies, crossover movies. But in the original episodes, the first ever bike was well, the original one was this one, slightly yellowed, slightly, you know, shorter, and overall, I mean, it's a nice bike, and of course, and that's the one you see in quite a lot of toys. So I'm gonna put that in the back there. We'll, you know, have them all the bikes put side by side, and when we're done, and I think this one's trying to fall over. There we go. So we got this one, and the ones we most often see in the movies is well as this one right here. Just, you know, it's similar to this one, but it's more pointy, more rounded off, and this one's got the blue lights on it. So this one that didn't come with the double pack, and you know, this is the one that came with the double pack. So now you got this one. And this one's sort of the middle of both. It's got a more like sharper shape like the newer ones, but it also feels more retro like the original one. It's just got more of the mechanical stuff showing up, and all the shapes seem a bit more simple, not simple in design, like not as refined. And I like the look of it. I like the look of all the little engine bits popping out, and it still has the 3 lines on the back just like the original bike. The original bike has some blue tubes, and has some flatter pieces, which are like little blades, which are kind of cool. But do be careful, this being flatter blades, it does mean it's also flatter plastic here. You see, it bends quite easily, and it does feel like it can snap if you just sort of bend it outwards. So do be careful there. Both sides of the license plates are replaced by sort of Shocker logos. You can rotate a huge amount on this bike. I love the little like details you would see in the motors there and inside there. You can see the little display there that it's not accelerated, which is fine. More details hidden underneath all these pipes. The spring loaded here is pretty decent. It rolls pretty nice. So yeah, all in all, this seems like a decent bike, or a decent copy of the original one anyway. The lights on the front are also pretty good as well. So, unfortunately though, this bike does not have any die-cast pieces in it whatsoever, apart from a few sort of screw holes, like nails, with where the wheels are. The entire bike is pretty much just plastic, and that's unfortunate because a lot of the older bikes do have you know, a bit of die-cast metal in them, in maybe some of the bars to hold the legs, the wheels up, or maybe just in the motor area somewhere to give it some weight and make it more valuable, really, to have some metal in it. Now, I just put Nigo on here, and he sits on there quite easily, not too awkwardly. One thing, last thing I wanted to note about the bike is that unlike older bikes, it's also missing one thing. Older bikes would usually come with a hard piece of plastic for the handlebars, and also a set of soft, sort of more rubbery plastic, which don't look as good, some might think, but I think they look almost identical. But it's nice to have spares anyway. And you know, the hard ones look more realistic, but of course they have the tendency of snapping. You don't have the luxury here. These handlebars are permanently attached to the main bar in the middle. You can't replace them, so if they snap, you're gonna have to find a way to fix it, just like that. Which with all the bikes, the only one, the V3 bike, the left handlebar has a tendency of popping off quite easily. If I just move it around or it just tumbles over, it will come off. But for the most part, it's fine. And every single other bike that I have had has not had the issue of a loose handlebar. So, and I have quite a lot of them. I got these four right here. Got the V3, the Amazon, Decade, Wizard, Cougar, Forze, Garen. So I got like almost like 15, almost 20 bikes, and only one of them has an issue like that. And you know, that's probably just mine, and not every single V3 bike out there. So overall, it's not a problem in terms of the bikes. Also, double bike, of course, and the Fies bike. So this one not having replacement handlebar is a bit of a bummer, really. With this figure, I'm finally another step closer to completing the entire Showa Kamen Rider collection of S.H.Figuarts. Got pretty much all the figures except Stronger Charged Up and Electric Taco. If you count the villains, I am missing Apollo Geis and the Shocker Minion without the print on the chest. But apart from that, in terms of heroes, I'm only missing 2 figures until eventually when J does finally get released. That'd be great. I can have J as well, and I'll complete the whole Showa set, and that'll be cool. But you know, so it's great that this version of Nigo did get a re-release with this bike, making the crazy expensive one not worth it anymore, pretty much, unless you just really need that slight paint difference. But like I said, I do think the paint coloring on this one here is a bit better. The greens are more, you know, vivid, the more dark, like this, like they up the contrast of the paint, and I think it looks really good. The silver lining on the side of the body is also pretty good as well. Now, of course, I think in some of the movies, like the more like movie Mega Max or something, they used the dark helmet, but they also kept the red gloves, and just swap the heads around with the other body, and you do find there as well. I think that makes a good combination. You know, you got the red glove version right there, just swap it with the helmet, with the head. I do not like the neck piece, the scarf on the neck. That feels really tacky. Fortunately, I did pick up a spare Nigo at some point. I was going to repaint into a Shocker Rider, or swap the head around with the light helmet Ichigo, because I thought I'm thinking that the helmet isn't as shiny as the original version. But I kind of gave up on that because it does require, you know, removing a bit of the silver bit paint on the side of the earpiece. So I do have a spare figure there. It means I have a spare red scarf, so I might swap that out with this one. But for the rest of you're not going to be doing that, so I think that's pretty annoying there. But the rest of the figure, the details on the belt, the details on the body and stuff, is all pretty good, and the helmet is also very nice, very shiny as well. Overall looks pretty good. The bike itself is also pretty nice, despite having an extra spare set of handles or any die-cast metal at all. It's still a very nice looking bike, and if you're careful with it, you shouldn't be breaking it at all. And I'm glad it does come with both a stand-up display stand as well as a stand for Tamashii Stage for posing it sort of like a jumping in the air. I think that's great. I think all the bikes from now on should come with that. A few of the bikes that came out since this one have not had that piece, and it's kind of annoying, but I think all of them should come with those pieces, so you can do a little jump in the air. I think that'd be great. Phew. So yeah, all in all, if you are a Showa Rider collector, definitely pick this up because the price is very reasonable for the amount of stuff you get in here. You get a figure here. Yes, the figure is very similar to other Ichigo stuff, so in terms of molding plastic, Bandai didn't have to put too much money in here. But it's just definitely some stuff here that you would want to pick up, since it's based on the rarer figure previously released. His chest muscles don't move, looks like some of the Showa Riders. So again, it depends on the suit design. This one has a smaller chest piece, so it doesn't need the moving bits. The ones with the big chest piece doesn't need it. So it's all of these Ichigo Rider figures are all just slightly different from each other in terms of paint and molding. So if you're a collector, definitely pick this one up because it's a good looking figure, and it's like I said, it's very reasonably priced right now. I do hope they re-release the Shocker Rider at some point, for God's sake. It's really expensive with just one figure, especially one figure that's very similar to all of these other ones. It's like 800 plus Hong Kong dollars right now. It's insane, even for a second-hand one. But anyway, if you have enjoyed this video, please click the like button, subscribe button, and also leave a comment below if you like. Which version of the Ichigo Nigo Rider do you like the most? Which bike you like the most? And what would you like to see from like other Showa releases maybe? And if you like to support this channel even further, I do advise you to watch my videos without any ad block. It would mean a lot to me because I can get, you know, some sort of earning for doing these videos. I never put, I will never put unskippable ads on my video because that's just annoying. I tried it once, it wasn't good for me or the people watching it, so I'm never doing that again. Never. And for the rest of you, if you want to support this channel even further, you can head over to the Patreon page. If you support me now, I'll be able to do more videos more often on more toys. You know, that'd be great for all of us, wouldn't it? But most importantly, take care, have a nice day, and henshin.